In this video, we will talk about rprogramming data structure and specifically introduce the simplest data structure vector. So in R, an object is anything that can be assigned to a variable, and this includes different data structures like constants, data structures, functions, and even graphs. And object has a mode like numeric or character. So our data structure contains the simplest the vector, which is a one-dimensional data structure, and the matrix is a two-dimensional data structure, and the array is any dimensional. And the data frame, which is most widely used in data analysis in R, is a tabular data structure like a spreadsheet in Excel program. And the last data structure is called a list, which can combine any other type of data structure together in one data object. So this figure shows the illustrative data structure. This is a vector, one dimension. The matrix is two dimension. And the array is three dimension cubic. Actually, array can have dimension more than 3. And the data frame is a 2 dimension, and with the rows represent the observations. For each row is each observations, and columns represent the variables. So each observation has different variables in the column. And a list can contain, for example, vector, arrays, data frames, and even another list in this individual object. So next we will introduce specifically the simplest data structure in R. This is a vector. The vector is a one-dimensional array, and elements can be numeric, character, or logical type, but in each vector, each element should have the same type. So for example, we create a vector called A, and using this symbol in R, it means to assign the right side to the left side of this object. So here we create a vector called A, which includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements, numeric elements, right? And we create vector B, which has 3 elements, all are characters. So we have to use quotes in the function C. And the third vector C is the object. This C is the function C, right? Function C will create a vector assigned to the C, and this vector has 6 elements which are all logical, true or false. So if we want to get the elements of a vector, we can use the bracket and with the index number. So A bracket 3, which means we get the third element of vector A we have created. And be careful, in R programming, the index starts from 1. And many other programming languages like Python starts index from 0. So if we want to select multiple elements, we can use the C function again. C2, 4, 6 inside the bracket, which means we want to get the second, fourth, and the sixth elements of the vector A. We can also use the column to get the from beginning to the end index of all elements inside this range. So here we get the second to the sixth elements of the vector A. Next, we will show all these commands in RStudio. So first, we create a numeric vector A. So A is created. If we show the type of A, it's double because this is stored with a double number type in the computer. We can also just print A to show the 6, 7 elements of this vector. And similarly, we can create a B vector with 3 character variables, 1, 2, 3, with the quotes in the C. C function is used to create a vector. So B created, and show B is vector which has 3 elements, 1, 2, 3. If we use type of B, how it is going, it shows the character, which means the elements of the B are characters. And we can create a vector C which has 6 elements, all are logical value, true or false. We just print C and to show the elements of this vector. And next we will show several functions which can be used to create a vector. So seq is a sequence vector which will create a sequence of continuous values based on the definition in function seq. So here we will create seq. Using seq, create sequence number between 1 to 10. We show this vector is y. You can see there are 5 numbers. Length out equals 5. So there are 5 numbers between 1 to 10 with equally distanced. And the cat function will show the values on the screen. So we cat, then is a quote is a string. This string will be shown. Also, the y's value will be shown. And \n is a new line character. So it will be shown like using s equal function, then 1, 3.25, 5.5. So next, we will show how to assign variable a vector, then access vector's elements. So first we create a vector A. A has 6 elements from A to F character variables. Then A bracket 2 will get the second element, which is B here. And A bracket C246 will get second, fourth, and sixth elements of this vector. Then A bracket 1 colon 5 will get 5 elements from first to the 5th elements. So in rprogramming, the index of an object starts from 1. And if we use bracket 1 colon 5, and the resulting elements will include both the first and second index elements. Next, we will show how to modify vectors elements. So we create a vector x first. Be careful, R is case sensitive, so lowercase x and uppercase x represent 2 different objects. So next we will assign the value 1. Assign the value 1 to x's third elements. So this done, then we can use up arrow to alt last commands, then you can select this one. So now x, the third element, has been modified with the new value here. And similarly, we can assign new value 9 to the second element of this vector. Then we show x again. Second elements now is 9. So you can show all the elements of this vector. You can also modify the value of elements in this vector using condition statement. So here we x bracket x larger than 5 equals 0. So this means for the x brackets in the elements, all the elements which are larger than 5 will be assigned with the value 0. This is done. So we show again x's value. So you can see no more elements larger than 5 in this vector now. We can also create a vector based on the existence elements of the original vector. So here we will create a vector x, but this vector x is from this old original vector x, which selects 3 elements. The position of 3 elements is 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So we show again x. Sorry, x not exist because we have to use the capitalized. So you can see x has been created with a new value with 3 elements now. These 3 elements comes from the original vector. Actually, now this original vector does not exist. The new vector, also called x, has only 3 elements now. So we can get elements from the original one and assign it back to this original one, right? You can also delete or remove a vector. First, we create a vector called m with 4 elements. 4 elements. Then we can just use a null value assigned to this vector. So m assigned with a null. The null all capitalized characters. Nulls. Then we can show the value of m again. So output vector no value. So if you just print m is null now because this vector has been removed. You can also access the source files for this video and all other videos in this playlist from the GitHub link. Thanks for watching.